Hello, boys and girls. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the Earth and what lies inside the Earth. Welcome to virtual learning. This is the first lesson. In this lesson, you're going to learn what you need to do for every lesson following this. So you want to pay close attention to what's going on. Okay? So by now, you should already have your the exact same copy of this Smart Notebook file that we're looking at right now. You should already have the same copy saved on on your school drive, and you can have it open now during the movie if you want, or you can just have it minimized, wherever is easier. And you should already have your notes page open. Um, if you're not sure how to get to the notes page, it's located in the wiki, and I can show you that real quick. Um, you're going to want to go to the wiki, and you're going to want to go to the notes section here. And right here, Laurel and Lane, OneNote shared notebook. Okay, so you're going to want to have that open so that you can be taking notes during each of these lessons. All right, going back to our first lesson, which is Inside the Earth, the Earth's composition and layers. So this lesson is about how the Earth is made up of layers. And on the outside of the Earth, you can see we have the crust, then mantle, outer core, and inner core. You are going to learn about the layers within the Earth. Right, moving on. Okay, before we begin, we need to talk about some of the key terms that might be new to you. One of the first key terms that we want to discuss is crust. Have you ever eaten the crust from a piece of pie or pizza? The Earth's crust is the outermost layer. The crust is made of mostly rocks, granite, and basalt. It is the thinnest layer of the Earth. So you can see right here how thin the crust is. Mantle. This is the second layer in the Earth and is made up of rocky material called garnet peridotite. Where have you heard the word mantle before? Let's look the word up and find out where it came from. This will help us remember the meaning of the word. See if our link is working. Well, if that's okay, if the link doesn't work, we can just go right here to mantle. Okay, and I've put it here in the web, in the little web browser in Smart Notebook. And let's see what it says. Okay, so it's going to give us the etymology of the word. Etymology means where did the word come from? All right, and it says Old English, mental, which means sleeveless cloak, or later it was reborrowed from Anglo-Norman and called mantle. It was also came from Latin, which was called mantibellum, covering, cloak. Okay, so let's look down here. A piece of clothing, somewhat like an open robe or cloak, especially that worn by Orthodox bishops. So I see kind of a theme going on here. Do you see sort of a theme? Something that covers or conceals, a body wall, a shell, the zone of hot gases around a lamp. Interesting, huh? Uh, in anatomy, the cerebral cortex. Now, these are all very different definitions of mantle, but they all kind of have a theme that's the same, which is sort of like a covering or a cloak or a shell or a layer. Here in the geology one, which is the one that we're interested in today, the layer between the Earth's core and the crust. Okay, also a fireplace shelf. And doesn't a fireplace shelf cover the top of the fireplace? Doesn't it go over it? So it's really interesting sometimes when you're not sure about a word to look up the etymology of that word and find out more about the word to help you then better understand it. And the really neat thing about that is that when you do that, you really won't forget that word again. And then you might even have a little bit of background knowledge for the next time you come across a word that may even have parts of that word in it. So it's pretty neat. Okay, moving on. Let's go back to our words that we wanted to go over. We went over mantle. Let's talk about outer core. This is the third layer of the Earth. This layer is extremely hot with temperatures reaching 5,000 degrees Celsius. To understand how hot this is, let's imagine a volcano. The temperature of basalt lava at Kilauea, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, Kilauea, reaches 1,160 degrees Celsius. So if you added about 30 around, estimating about 3,800 degrees Celsius to that, imagine how hot that would be. That is pretty hot. Inner core. The inner core is the center of the Earth made up of the metals iron and nickel. It is believed that the center of the Earth is a solid mass, not a liquid. And here we have our little diagram here. In your notes section, you do have an area to draw pictures. So if you want to pause the movie and draw a picture that's similar to this, go right ahead and do that. It's good to take really detailed notes so that you can go back and review those later before you take a test or a quiz. Okay? And we already looked at that. That was when we looked at the word mantle. All right, let's talk about your background information. Do you remember learning about the rock cycle? You may have learned about the rock cycle in third grade. You may not have, and that's okay if you didn't. But let's talk about that because the rock cycle is really important for our background information. The rock cycle is a general model that describes how various geological processes create, modify, the word modified means change, create, modify, and influence rocks. This model suggests that the origin of all rocks, so where they came from, can be ultimately traced back to the solidification of molten magma, so to the hardening of magma. Magma consists of a partially melted mixture of elements and compounds commonly found in rocks. Magma exists just beneath the solid crust of the Earth in what we call the mantle. The first rocks to form on Earth were probably igneous rocks. All igneous rocks formed from lava that has erupted onto the Earth's surface. And you can see here, they're showing sort of this cycle that I'm talking about right now. Let's see. Where did we go? Erupted onto the Earth's surface, or magma that hardens beneath the Earth's surface. So it can harden down under here, or it can erupt up on here. Either way. All rock types can be broken down by weathering on Earth's surface. Those same rocks that were broken down are moved thanks to erosion, and that's what we're looking at here, transportation. Erosion is like rain, wind, storms, floods, all that kind of thing. Weathering is something that takes a lot longer than erosion. Weathering is like the wind whipping at it, or maybe water running over it for a really long time. The easy way to understand the difference between these is just to remember that weathering is very slow and erosion is very fast. Some examples of erosions are streams, waves, glaciers, wind, and gravity. All rock types can be returned back to the inside of the Earth. Once in the Earth's interior, great pressures and temperatures melt the rock back into magma to begin the process of the rock cycle all over again. Pretty neat, huh? The rock cycle just happens over and over and over again. All right, right here, you're going to pause the video and you're going to go look and read the article, which you can find in the wiki under reading materials, lesson resources for lesson 1. Okay, so go ahead and make sure that you pause the video and read that article. Okay, so hopefully, welcome back. Hopefully you read the article and you took some notes in your notebook. Let's move on to the next page. So after reading the article, you should be able to complete this drag and drop activity in this chart, okay? All the information that you need is in the article. So it's easy all you do is you just drag these objects into the right place in the table. So you want to match up the crust with the temperature it would have had, what it was made out of, and the state of matter that it's in. So what the way you're gonna have to do that is you're gonna have to do that within your own notebook file that you have. You have the copy of this exact notebook file. So you're gonna have to open that up and play around with it and just see if you can get all of those correct. Okay. I am going to go ahead and move on to the next slide. Um, Now that you've learned a little bit about the Earth's crust, I want you to look at our discussion questions, and you're going to post those discussion answers in our discussion board in the wiki, okay? So if you look here, you'll see I put another, this is again just a web browser box, which is showing you the wiki right there. So you just want to go into the wiki and answer, you just answer right in the discussion board, okay? And moving on now to the next slide. Please click on the exit sign to go to the exit ticket page and follow the directions to complete this lesson. So see what happens when we click on the exit ticket? It's going to open up the web browser to well, it's going to take us to the wiki, but then you're going to go and click on Blackboard because that's where you would go to get into Horizon in order to take your exit ticket quiz. All right. And after that, we have extended practice and play, and you can do that from within your own notebook file. Dig a hole through the earth, or play Battleship to test your knowledge. And that's it for this lesson one. There are a little bit more resources I would like to show you under lesson one resources. Those same things that I just showed you. There's the Battleship game, and then there's also some Quizlet study cards that you can study. And then there's also a video that just talks about a little bit more in depth about the layers of the Earth. So I hope you enjoyed this first lesson in virtual learning, and I hope you took great notes in your OneNote notebook. And I look forward to seeing you at lesson 2. Bye.